Hello and welcome to day one of the 12 days of Christmas. In this series, we'll share with you tips and tricks on how to decorate your home, as well as some projects we're working on this season. I'm Brandon with Chat Christmas, and this is day one. We're going to get started with decorating this beautiful tree next to me. I'll show you what order to take, how to use ribbon in your tree, how important placement is, and how to create the perfect tree topper. So let's get started. Okay, so to begin decorating your tree, you always want to start with the topper, and the next step would be ribbon. So right now I'm going to show you what I've pulled for our tree topper today. We've got a couple different picks. When you're pulling picks for the topper, most of the time you'll want to choose maybe 3 or 4 different picks, and they'll need to be the long stem floral picks like this. So we've got a beautiful gold, rose gold pick here. We have a red glitter coral pick. And then we also have some of these beautiful burgundy or cranberry velvet poinsettias to place in our tree. All these colors really pop nicely on a flocked Christmas tree. And then lastly, things to go throughout our tree, and then maybe at the bottom of our topper, we have just simple red berries with a little bit of snow. And as for our ribbon, I'm going to start off showing you one of the ribbons that won't pop as much on the tree, but will be a beautiful accent. Is going to be this gold mesh glitter ribbon. And then we have a brown ribbon with red glitter snowflakes. And then lastly, our bold statement on the tree will be this burgundy or cranberry velvet ribbon that of course matches our velvet poinsettias perfectly. So let's go ahead and get started. For our topper today, we'll start with the picks, and then below the picks, we're gonna do some bows, the world's easiest bows. I'll show you how that's done in just a moment. But I'm gonna have a sip of my coffee. So go ahead and grab your coffee, take a seat, and enjoy the video. Okay. So we'll start with the poinsettia. Now when you buy poinsettias, they look like this, okay? So let me show you just real quick. I'll scoot in just a little. When you wanna fluff your poinsettia just as you fluff your tree, you'll pull back all the branches and then take your finger underneath and kind of perk it up. That way it looks alive and not crumpled up. So you'll just do that all the way around, and once you do that, you'll get something like this. All right, so we'll start by just placing these in our tree. No particular way. And I guarantee you I'll go back through moving things around, so if you see something that you wish would be moved, chances are I'll get back around to it. Right now I'm just placing it all on the topper, and then we'll kind of work around with exact placement. Okay, and the same for these red coral picks. You're gonna wanna fluff those too, because they look rather boring and flat this way. So you just wanna take a branch and kind of bend it, curve it. That way it also looks alive, and you wanna, yeah, just give life to your picks. Okay. And since this is just a 7.5 foot tree, I'm not using a ladder since I'm rather tall, which we'll find out is a good or bad idea. All right, and then these, there's not much fluffing to them, but of course it was all together to begin with, so we just wanna kinda bring them out. Okay, we'll be adding a lot more picks. Let me grab some here. Okay. So what we're doing now is just really filling up the top of our tree. There's no right or wrong way to do it. When you're choosing things that maybe fit your theme, you'll want to choose, like I said, 3 to 4 different floral picks on the longer stem. and at least 2 ribbons. In this case, we have 3 to work with, but we're gonna make, like I said, the world's easiest bow. And I'll step back, take a look at it. If I think something should be moved, I'll move it. So far so good, it's dramatic, I like that. So we'll move on to our ribbon. So for the ribbon, you'll want to take some wire. I have perfectly cut floral wire here. You can purchase that at Hobby Lobby, Target, Walmart, really anywhere. So we'll start with our boldest ribbon here, the velvet. Now to do that easy bow that I was talking about, we're just gonna do triple loop since we have 3 ribbons we're working with. If we did any more than that, it's gonna really crowd the topper. So you'll start with your ribbon, make a loop, bring back up, make a loop, bring back up, and make another loop. And then you'll just bunch together at the bottom, and it truly, truly is the easiest ribbon you'll ever make. And it kind of just creates, or easiest bow, sorry, you'll ever make. It kind of just creates some nice little things that'll go on our tree. Then you'll take your wire, bring that around the base. And we're gonna leave this tail because this tail is gonna come down our tree. Don't worry about this tail later. I'm just gonna let it hang there while I make my other bows. And you know, since this gold isn't much of a statement, it's not very bold, I'm gonna make a 4 loop. And this is something, again, I mean, depending on the size of your tree, the ribbon you chose, you can kind of just make this decision as you're going along. And if you get your ribbon put up there and realize you need more, just add more, it's no big deal. But as you can see, these bows that I'm making are so easy. Anyone could do it, and it only takes a couple seconds to throw one together, and then once you've got your bow made, you'll then want to fluff it out. All right, and our last ribbon here, I'll go ahead and do, I think I'll do a triple again on this one. All right, now we're gonna worry about our tails. So I'll start back over here with this velvet ribbon. And the tail's just gonna kind of come down. What I like to do once I'm down in my tree, you'll go back, you'll wrap a branch around it, but I really like to loop in my tree. So I'm just gonna take some slack from the ribbon, and since we're at the end of this roll, I'm just gonna take it and put it back in my tree, wrap a branch around it. That way I've got a loop here, and that'll look really great once the tree is completed. Okay, and then we've got our gold here. I'll do kind of the same thing, but I'm gonna do a double loop. I'll take it back here, wrap a branch. And you wanna make sure that your ribbon is perky. The gold ribbon here, it doesn't really work. Doesn't really have that much movement, so it is harder to do. But anyway, and then you'll just kind of let the ribbon flow. Whatever feels natural to you, you'll just do that and let it flow all the way down to the bottom. Then as you can see on this one, I did leave a tail. We'll cut that with some scissors. And with ribbon, there's just so many options for cutting the ends. I'm just gonna do that traditional 2-point cut and let it hang there. So now that we've got our ribbon placed, I think I'm gonna go in and add a few more that can kind of come down the sides. And then of course, if you were working all the way around your tree, you'll wanna go ahead and repeat this process on the back. So I'm just gonna go in, I'm not making any loops. I'm gonna take the branches of the tree and wrap it around and then just kind of come out that way. And I love crossing paths, my ribbon crossing paths. I really like that. So kind of what we're doing here. Now I think I'm just going to make a couple loops and clip the tail on this and just place these in the tree at specific spots just to kind of fill it in. And then of course once we start adding ornaments, most of this ribbon will be covered anyway, but it'll work as a background to our ornaments. Alright, so these loops that I'm putting in my tree topper can actually be floral picks like this. There are different sizes of the floral picks. Since this is just for the demonstration, I'm not putting these on picks, but if you want something a little more secure, you could wrap the wire of the pick down below and kind of pick that into your tree. And so now, moving on, I want to go ahead and add in my short red berries, at least on the top. I'll wait to add these into the tree until the very last in those empty spots. But for the top, I'm gonna go ahead and add some of these at the base of my tree topper. And then these two kinda need to be fluffed. They're a little fragile, so you can't do much with them. That's good for now. So now we're gonna go in and add more of our larger picks. I'm starting with this poinsettia. The reason I'm starting with this is because I want to hang, you guys are going to love this ornament that we have to work with. I want to hang it on this. And I'll show you what I mean in just a second. I'm just fluffing out the poinsettia. And then we have these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful icicle, cranberry burgundy icicles. So I think those hanging from a poinsettia would be really good. Gonna slide it on and then stick it in our tree. Yeah, I really love that look. We'll put a few of those around the tree. As you see, hanging things on the end of the poinsettia kind of forces me to keep the poinsettia out and like expand my tree and really play with the shape of the tree. And that is something that I'm getting more accustomed to and more comfortable with. So I really like that. Once I add a bunch in, it is really gonna play with the shape, and that to me is beautiful. I've always in the past used grapevine wreath or honeysuckle in my trees just to kind of play with the shape and add in that natural touch. And then we have a larger size icicle, which is huge. I'm gonna see if it looks good on this tree. This may look best on a larger tree. Of course, any large ornaments like this, you do wanna place closest to the bottom where the tree is the widest and the biggest. And again, that would, I guess, depend on the size of your tree, but in this case, I'm gonna try to place it as far toward the bottom as I can. And the good thing about the tree I'm working with today is there's a lot of natural gaps, and it is made to look that way. It's really good for this demonstration just simply because these icicles kind of need a place to go. Okay guys, so now I've gotten all of the poinsettias placed on the tree. What we're gonna move into next are some of our gold and burgundy ball ornaments. So for these, what you'll do is obviously, I mean, most of you know how to place an ornament. It's not rocket science. You place it on your limb. I don't just let my ornaments hang there, however. What I do is I place it and then I wrap the string around the limb. That way it's nice and tight up against your limb, and that's how it should look. And you know, before we get too many balls placed, I pulled some of these deer. I was kind of thinking some deer, some larger pieces, not quite as large as the poinsettia arrangement things, but I pulled a couple deer. I want to see what those look like in the tree. If you're not a fan of placing big things like this in your tree, obviously, you know, it's not a requirement. I think it does make your tree look a lot more designer and just a lot better. So maybe give it a try if you're new to it. Just seeing some open spaces. And you can take some floral wire for these also. Right now I'm just gonna wrap a branch just because I don't know, I'm not convinced that this is what I wanna do. Step back and take a look. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. So I think I'll just add two. I kind of had one that looks a little silver and gold. And then I also had one that's a little more glittery. This one to me looks a bit cheaper than this, so I'm gonna go with this one. And just kind of place it. And if your balls, if any of your ornaments don't have string attached, just add some floral wire. It's honestly probably gonna hold a lot better than the string anyway, so it's no big deal. Okay, so in addition to the golds and the burgundy ball ornaments, I have some of these crystal deer ornaments, and I'll actually give you a closer look. They're beautiful. I don't know how people do the hand thing. Anyway, these are gonna go really well since I'm also adding in some clear frosted balls. Before we can consider it done, I have about 4 more little icicles, maybe just 3. I've got these gorgeous, gorgeous crystal icicle with some gold glitter and sequins. I'm gonna add those. Now I have 3 different sizes. So I've got this size, a medium size, and a long one. So with icicles, obviously, like I said earlier, your larger ornaments or longer ornaments are gonna go toward the bottom of your tree where it is wider, and the small ones can go toward the top. These, I prefer putting on the very tips of branches just so they kind of drip off the tree and create that icy look. So I'll go in here and add. Okay guys, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. We have a lot in store for you with this series. If you have any questions, comment down below. Let us know what you think of our tree. If you have any suggestions, please leave those down below, or feel free to reach out on Facebook via direct message. And don't forget to visit our website, chatchristmas.com. Thank you again for watching, and see you later.